The moment you walk into a coffee shop with your eyes glued to your phone, reciting a perfect textbook script you weren't connecting, you're treating another human being like an automated vending machine.
Ouch. That hits incredibly close to home, Emma. I've literally done that exact thing all week.
Welcome to the Fluency Habit. I'm Emma.
And I'm Daniel. Today we are breaking down the art of the coffee shop connection and why speaking off script is your ultimate social superpower.
Honestly, if you are a shy professional, navigating a high-pressure urban environment, this deep dive is entirely for you. We are going to dissect a real-world 30-second interaction to figure out exactly how you can break out of that paralyzing social anxiety, because we want to show you how to take those invisible daily transactions and, turn them into authentic human connections.
Yeah, because it is so incredibly easy to just, disappear into the background of a busy city. I mean, when you are constantly surrounded by millions of people, your instinct is often to just build a wall around yourself just to survive the sensory overload. Which brings us to the subject of today's deep dive. We are looking at a customer who has been going to this specific coffee shop, Anchor, in South London for 11 straight months.
Wait, 11 months?
11 months.
And here's the thing. This shop sounds like an absolute dream. It is this incredibly cozy little spot wedged right between a dry cleaner and an old, dusty bookshop.
Yeah.
It has these warm, exposed brick walls and these enormous copper espresso machines that are constantly hissing and steaming away.
It sounds brilliant.
Right. But our subject, every single morning, Monday through Friday, he walks in, stands in the exact same spot in the queue, and orders the exact same thing. A medium flat white, 1 sugar to go. He taps his card, says thank you, and leaves. In almost a year, he has never once learned the barista's name.
Yeah, he's stuck in that classic commuter autopilot. Physically, he is standing there at the counter. Mentally, he is already drafting a Slack message at his desk.
Oh, totally.
He's what you'd call a regular, which, basically just means a customer who visits so often the staff could probably make his drink blindfolded, but he remains entirely invisible. The barista, Sofia, actually just refers to him as flat white in her head.
Flat white.
Right. He clearly seeks the comfort of a familiar local place, but he actively avoids the messy, unpredictable work that comes with actually belonging to a community.
Exactly. And honestly, it is a frictionless trap. But okay, consider this. Why do we do this? Because it's not just him.
To be fair, I completely understand why he does it. If we look at his career, it makes perfect sense, and I think a lot of the listeners will relate to this. He works as a user experience designer, a UX designer.
Oh, yeah, right.
He spends his entire professional life designing these elegant, completely seamless digital interfaces for smartphones. In his world, the ultimate goal is to eliminate friction. If you have to tap a button twice on an app instead of once, well, he considers his design a failure.
Wow, that really puts it into perspective.
It really got me thinking about the career analogy here. Have we accidentally designed our physical lives to be so seamless that we've optimized human connection completely out of existence?
Oh, absolutely we have. Think about the architecture of our modern day. We use delivery apps for our groceries specifically, so we don't have to navigate a conversation with a cashier.
Right.
We stare at GPS on our phones, so we never have to stop on the pavement and ask a stranger for directions. I mean, we have built an entire urban ecosystem where you never have to negotiate, you never have to stumble over your words in your second language, and you never have to face the unpredictable reality of another human being.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The terrible irony is, this customer actually loves the atmosphere of the coffee shop. He absorbs the smell of the roasted beans, the low hum of the room, the warmth. But sitting down at a table means staying.
Yeah.
And staying means someone might actually try to strike up a conversation with him. For an introverted professional, especially one working in a high-stress environment, an unscripted conversation is terrifying because there is no undo button.
That is so true.
You can't backspace a clumsy sentence. So he just stays in his perfectly safe, frictionless bubble.
But then the bubble bursts.
It does. We get to this one particular rainy Tuesday. London is just smothered in this heavy slate gray fog. Rainwater is drumming hard against the big glass front of the shop.
I love days like that.
They're the best. And because it's raining, Sofia the barista has switched off the usual upbeat, high-energy morning pop music. Instead, she's playing this incredibly melancholic, beautiful blend of Portuguese acoustic photo guitars and soft jazz. The playlist is literally called Rainy Days in Ribera.
It's such a vibe. It completely changes the emotional frequency of the room,
It really does. So our customer pushes to the door, his umbrella dripping wet, the little brass bell above the door chimes. He steps up to the counter, and instead of launching into his usual robotic routine, he breaks an 11-month streak of silence.
Wait, what does he do?
He orders his coffee, but then he pauses. He actually looks up, makes direct eye contact with Sofia, and says, "By the way, I have to ask, what is this playlist? I've noticed you play it on rainy Tuesdays, and it is absolutely perfect for a morning like this."
I absolutely love Sophia's reaction here because the moment he says that, she instantly drops that polite, rigid customer service smile. Her entire posture shifts.
Yeah, you can almost see it.
A real, genuine smile actually reaches her eyes, and she leans over the counter. She tells him it's music from back home in Porto, Portugal. And she takes a moment to explain this gorgeous Portuguese cultural concept called saudade, which is this profound, beautiful sadness, or like a deep longing for something that is absent.
And in that tiny 30-second exchange, the transactional wall just completely shatters. They go from being vending machine and consumer to two human beings sharing a moment of cultural empathy.
It's beautiful.
But why does this tiny moment matter so much? Because his personal desire to avoid awkwardness isn't just an individual quirk. It's a symptom of a larger architectural shift in our society. This interaction ties directly into what the sociologist Ray Oldenburg called the third place.
Right. I love this concept. Let's really unpack that because it explains so much about modern loneliness.
So Oldenburg argues that healthy functioning societies desperately need, well, three distinct places. The first place is your home. That is where you live, where you sleep, where your family is.
Okay.
The second place is your office, where you work, where you perform your professional duties, and where there is a strict hierarchy. But the third place, that is supposed to be the anchor of community life.
Yeah.
Historically, that was the local pub, the neighborhood cafe, the public park, the community library. It's the neutral ground where you gather, rub shoulders with complete strangers, and experience unplanned, spontaneous human connections.
But look at what we've done to the third place today. You walk into a modern metropolitan cafe, and it feels like a silent waiting room. Or like a library where you aren't allowed to cough.
It's a bit bleak, isn't it?
It really is. Everyone has massive noise-canceling headphones clamped over their ears. Everyone is staring intensely at a glowing screen. We have completely traded serendipitous connection for ruthless efficiency.
Yeah.
So when you actually look up, physically remove your earbuds and use your voice to connect rather than just survive a transaction, you are doing something genuinely revolutionary. You are actively reclaiming that third place.
Wait, I have to push back on that a bit.
Okay, go for it.
Calling small talk revolutionary feels like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it? I mean, we're just talking about asking a barista about a Spotify playlist, not tearing down the establishment. How does a 30-second chat actually reclaim an entire sociological space?
I totally get why it sounds dramatic, but think about what the system is currently designed to do. The system wants you to tap your phone, consume your caffeine, and get back to producing economic value at your desk as fast as possible.
Right, the efficiency trap.
Yes, the system does not want you lingering and being delightfully inefficient. When you pause to acknowledge the humanity of a service worker, you are resisting that hyper-capitalist urge to treat everything as a transaction. You are insisting that this cafe is a community hub, not just a caffeine dispensing factory. And honestly, that is a quiet revolution.
Right, I see your point. You're claiming space for humanity in a world that is aggressively trying to optimize it away. But it's a bit awkward, though, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Breaking that silence when the room is quiet. How does one actually do that without sounding like a creep or stumbling over their words? I think we need to look at exactly how he did it, the actual mechanics of the conversation.
Yes. Let's deconstruct the dialogue right now. We're going to do a live roleplay for you to contrast two very different approaches to this exact interaction. You play the customer, and I will play the barista, Sofia.
Brilliant. Let's start with the textbook script. This is the version most of us, especially non-native speakers or shy folks, default to when we're nervous and just want to get it exactly grammatically right.
Perfect. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. May I please purchase 1 medium cup of black coffee with milk on the side?
Sure. That'll be $3.50.
Thank you very much. Here is my credit card.
Thanks. Can I get a name for the cup?
You can just write down the tall guy in the coat.
Okay, let's stop and unpack this. If we're measuring the social temperature here, it is absolutely freezing. It is icy.
Completely frozen.
Grammatically, sure, it is flawless. You hit every preposition perfectly. But socially, it's completely dead. It maintains this strict, invisible status barrier between the server and the served. You are treating the barista exactly like an ATM. You punch the correct grammar codes in, and a coffee comes out.
Right. There are no conversational hooks, no personality, no warmth. It is extremely safe, but it keeps you completely invisible. Now let's read the second version. The real-world connection blueprint that our guy actually used.
I am ready.
Morning. How's the rush treating you today?
Oh, the usual Tuesday madness. What can I get started for you?
I bet. Let's go with a flat white, please. By the way, I love this acoustic playlist. Is it your mix?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I put it together. Most people don't even notice.
It's a beautiful vibe. Thanks for saving my morning.
Okay, the difference in the room is night and day. And the reason this works so magically is because it uses a specific psychological framework. We call it the observation plus complement formula, the O plus C formula.
Walk us through how that actually works, because as someone who used to get incredibly anxious in these situations, this feels so much more achievable than trying to walk in and be incredibly charming and charismatic.
Exactly. You don't need to be a stand-up comedian. The psychology of the O plus C formula relies on shifting something called the spotlight effect.
The spotlight effect.
Yeah. When you suffer from social anxiety, you walk into a room and you feel like there is a blinding theatrical spotlight pointed directly at your face, highlighting every flaw and every grammatical mistake you might make. And if you walk up to a stranger and ask a direct, personal question like, where are you from? Or what do you do? You are taking that blinding spotlight and swinging it right into their face.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
It feels like an interrogation lamp. It can make people really defensive.
Which is the last thing you want when there's a queue of people behind you.
Exactly. But with the observation plus complement formula, you take that intense spotlight and you point it at a shared third object in your environment. It's like building a campfire.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
You both look at the fire, the music, the weather, the pastry display instead of staring directly at each other. It is an incredibly low-stakes way to connect. It acts as the perfect icebreaker. Just a tiny, gentle social wedge to crack the tension in the room.
I love the campfire analogy, because he used an observation about the music to strike up a conversation effortlessly. He didn't force it. And notice how he acknowledged her reality before he even ordered. How's the rush treating you?
Yes.
He didn't demand service the second he reached the till. He made her feel seen. He recognized her as a human being surviving a stressful morning shift, not just a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
He realized she had a soft spot for that melancholic Portuguese music. It clearly meant something deeply personal to her, and he validated it.
It is a massive energetic shift, but, we can sit here and talk about the theory all day. What does it actually feel like to do this when your heart is pounding?
Well, to be fair, the physical reality of doing this when you have social anxiety is intense. I remember a specific time a few years ago. I was in this incredibly crowded cafe in central London. There was a massive queue snaking out the door behind me.
Oh no, that's a lot of pressure.
It was. I challenged myself to stop using the self-serve kiosk and actually make small talk with the barista. I stepped up to the counter, I opened my mouth, and my mind just went entirely blank. I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh no, that is the worst feeling.
It's a nightmare. My heart was hammering against my ribs, my palms were sweating, my mouth was bone dry. But I finally managed to stutter out some clumsy observation about how they were surviving the absolute chaos of the morning rush.
And what happened?
Well, the barista, who looked totally exhausted, actually stopped, let out this huge laugh, handed me my coffee, and said something really kind back. And I have to tell you, walking out of that shop onto the rainy street, I felt this massive, ridiculous mood boost. It felt like I had just conquered the world.
I am so glad you shared that, because that immense mood boost you felt walking out onto the street, that wasn't just an emotional illusion, that was a literal physical chemical reset happening inside your brain.
How does one actually explain that medically? Because in the moment, it honestly feels like magic.
It is pure neuroscience. Think about how the brain operates on autopilot in an urban environment. When shy professionals isolate themselves to avoid awkwardness, their brain is actually lingering in a mild, persistent state of alert.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Your amygdala, which is essentially the primitive alarm system of your brain, acts like a faulty smoke detector. It looks at crowds of strangers on the tube or in a busy cafe and interprets them as potential threats.
Right, because Evolutionary speaking, unknown humans outside our tribe were dangerous.
Exactly. So your brain pumps out cortisol, which is the stress hormone. That is exactly why you experienced the racing heart and the dry mouth in that London cafe. Your brain was physically preparing your body to either fight that barista or run away out the door.
Which is deeply unhelpful when all I wanted was an oat milk latte.
Very unhelpful. But here's where the magic happens. The moment you pushed through that fear, spoke up, and that exhausted barista gave you a warm, genuine laugh, you triggered a completely different chemical cascade.
The good kind.
The best kind. Smiling and connecting with a stranger triggers an immediate surge of oxytocin. That is the social bonding hormone. Think of oxytocin as the physiological override code to your alarm system. It immediately turns off the threat response in the amygdala. It neutralizes the cortisol. Your shoulders literally, physically drop and relax.
Right. The relief is almost instantaneous. The tension leaves your neck.
And then comes the reward. When the barista validated your comment, your brain's reward center lit up and flooded your system with dopamine. Dopamine is what gives you that high energy momentum.
Ah, that explains the mood boost.
Exactly. It literally dilates your pupils, making the street look physically brighter when you walk outside. And here's the most crucial part. If you do this regularly, if you make this a habit, you trigger neuroplasticity. You physically rewrite the neural superhighway in your brain from speaking to strangers is dangerous and exhausting to speaking to strangers is rewarding and safe.
That is profound.
Yeah.
You aren't just practicing English vocabulary or learning a new script. You are quite literally rewiring your nervous system to feel safe in the world. And it only takes 30 seconds. You don't need to trap a barista in a deep philosophical conversation for an hour. Just a brief, positive, shared observation.
Exactly, which is exactly why we cannot let this deep dive just be a nice, inspiring story you listen to on your commute. We want you to actually experience this chemical reset in your own body this week.
Right, so we are laying down a concrete step-by-step checklist for you to try immediately. We call it the Anchor Challenge, inspired by our Invisible Regular. It takes 3 days, and it is designed specifically to ease you out of the frictionless trap.
I'm so ready for this. Give us day one.
Day 1 is the unplugged presence. Tomorrow morning, walk into your favorite local spot, whether that's a cafe, a bookstore, or the corner grocer. But leave your noise-canceling headphones in your pocket. Keep your eyes completely off your phone screen. Just step to the counter, make brief eye contact, and say, "Hi, morning." That's it. You don't have to start a conversation. Just be visibly present.
I love that. And then day 2 is the empathy acknowledgement. You're going to level up. You are going to acknowledge the worker's physical reality before you demand service. If they are swamped with orders, just smile and say, "Wow, busy morning." You are letting them know you see them as a human being working hard, not just a coffee dispensing machine.
Spot on. And finally, day 3 is the O plus C opener. You are going to deploy the observation plus complement formula on an environmental detail. Notice the music, the unique decor, or even just the crazy weather outside.
Like the campfire.
Exactly like the campfire. Say, "By the way, I love that acoustic playlist." Or, "By the way, I love the new plants in the window." And then, crucially, execute a graceful exit. Say, "Anyway, have a great shift," and walk away. You aren't trapping them in a long dialogue. You are just dropping a little bit of warmth into their day and moving on.
Your accent or your imperfect grammar is just the wrapper. Your warm energy and willingness to see another human being is the actual gift.
Subscribe to the Fluency Habit. Try the 3-day coffee shop challenge this week and tell us how your barista responded in the comments below.
Take care. Keep connecting.
See you next time.